Hey there, I'm Mark.
I'm Evan.
And on this week's podcast episode, we talk about Clubhouse and why Evan is a celebrity.
And then we fix Mark's entire life schedule. Good one.
It's a great one. Yeah. Welcome to the Something to Prove podcast. I am Mark Drager. This is Evan Carmichael. We are here to talk about proving things, right?
I was just on a Clubhouse talking about will Clubhouse be the demise of podcasting? It was fun. Welcome to our podcast.
As long as you can do it passively, because the appeal of podcasting is that you can be sharing and hanging out and learning and taking part in great conversations passively whilst doing other things. So cooking and cleaning and exercising and all those other things. And so if Clubhouse is super, super passive, then maybe.
Yeah,
but
it can be.
Is it live or I don't know what that's about. Is it live or is
live only now? It's gonna have a record function to go back. But most people don't get invited to speak. Most people are just passive consumers.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens. I mean, I am not an early adopter, so I'm the worst person in the world to try and ask predictive type things because I'm
I think it's going to have an impact. I think it's going to have a big impact on podcasting.
I like it.
That was the theme of the room that I was just in. I think it's gonna have an impact.
But see, so this is what's super interesting is that you saying that would have, I would say, maybe 6 months or a few years ago, especially, given me quite a bit of pause and anxiety, because I would have said, "What a wasted effort! All of this stuff we're doing. There's a new platform. We got to be on the new. What are we?" And then, but now I know from Evan and from experience that what we're doing right now is a transferable skill. And so if it's not here and it's somewhere else, I'll just take that skill with me, right?
Yeah. Actually, so the thing, I mean, now it's kind of become the Clubhouse episode, but whatever. We'll see where Mark wants to take this. The greatest, I think you could crush on Clubhouse and turn that into, I would try to find a way to record it because you can't record yet, but there's a few ways to win on Clubhouse. For me to win on Clubhouse, I need to show up in rooms where people recognize me, and then they bring me on stage, and then they ask my opinion on something, and I answer it, and then I go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't like to share the stage with 40 different people. That's not what I want to.
I know. I can tell from me saying, "Oh, you're listening to Clubhouse," and you went,
because I'm not learning. It's slow learning. It's inefficient learning for me. I want to learn through in person or video.
But here's the thing: you can easily record off Clubhouse, right? You take your headphone jack off your phone. You run it to a recorder, and then you run from the recorder into your headphones.
Or you screen record, and that records your audio too. There's ways to do it, but it's brand new. They don't have the functionality to do it yet. They're working on it, I'm sure. It would shock me if they don't have a version, like they don't on Android. They're going to have one. They're going to have recording functionality, right? It will happen. So I was on. I had a break. I guess somebody canceled or had problems or whatever. I had a 25-minute break. It was like, "Ooh, I have a break. What do I do? Okay, let's go on Clubhouse." That I see Clubhouse as my always on opportunity to be on somebody's show.
I like it.
So I went to 2 rooms. I stayed there for 2 minutes. I didn't get invited in, and you get recommended rooms based off people who are speaking that you're connected to, right? Mm-hmm. So somebody in those rooms I'm connected to, so I have a high chance of being pulled in, right? First room didn't pull me in. 2 minutes later. Second room didn't pull me in 2 minutes. Third room pulled me in. Like, hey, all right. And we've got, man, one of the great things about Club is you got all these celebrities you can talk to. We just got Evan Carmichael in here. Oh my God. Okay, great. And then
you drop a little bit of a little bomb of knowledge, and then off you go to the next room, right?
So that's one way to win, right? Like if you're a known quantity, and I'm known in the entrepreneur world, I mean nothing in the plant community or whatever, right? And so, Mark Drager would be known in some micro communities too. Like, oh my God, we got Mark Drager on, right? And so you're just the rotating guest on other people's, where you have shows where you have a high chance of being invited in. If it's just talking entrepreneurship or motivation and nobody in that room knows me, I'm not joining that giant room. So that's one way to win. Like, as you become the celebrity and you get pulled in, and everybody's a celebrity to somebody. Mm-hmm. I have an easier time pulling that off, but in my entrepreneur community. And if like Elon Musk shows up, of course, like everybody.
Evan's getting bumped for Elon.
Of course. Yeah, for sure. Yes, I bump myself to.
This is what comedians talk about, right? When they're working so hard to try and get that 5 minutes on stage, and they're hustling, and then they go to the club, and then, you know, Seinfeld walks in and the club's like, yep, Seinfeld's on stage, guys.
Yeah. So that's option one. And that's the option for me. Option two is you're fighting to get your voice heard. Mm-hmm. So the host of the room asked me for my what are the 3 lessons that you learn from different entrepreneurs, right? So we wanted 3. So I started sharing one, right? After the first one of the other speak, because anybody who's on stage can speak, right? You just unmute yourself and you go. And it's like 30 people who are speakers. And then
he jumped in to run with your.
So he jumps in after the first point. It's like, I just want to jump in here and say, Evan, great point. And if you guys check out my bio, what I talk about is about finding your passion. And I have a step process, and I've helped so many people. So go look at my bio, and what Evan said was great. And in my bio, there's all this stuff that's going to really help you. So thank you for having me. You know? And so
what did the moderator do? Go,
still like, it's Wild West, dude. Nobody knows what to do. And he didn't go on and on and on and on and on, but he was basically, you know, interrupting the conversation to have his thing come up.
Oh man.
To pitch my back. So, but like that can work, right? I mean, it's not a style I agree with, and it's something I would never do. But if you're the kind of person who can be aggressive and push people out of the way to get to the front of the line, like
you think that?
No, that's not. No. That's not you. That's not you either. No, that's not you. But it is a winning strategy, right? Like if you can get into rooms and there are other rooms where I've been on rooms where there's like 100 speakers. And then as soon as somebody else is done talking, 8 people just talk over each other to get the next, there's no cue or anything, right? It's like you unmute and you're talking. And so 8 people just talk all over each other, and whoever is the loudest and just keeps talking wins.
That sounds like a family dinner in my extended family, basically.
And so if you're that guy, then you could win. If I'm just going to out hustle, out loudmouth, and again, I'm not saying it's wrong. It's a winning strategy. Not for me. I hate those rooms. So that's the second strategy. And the third one is where I think you would shine the best. I think the micro celebrity you could pull off in some rooms. But where you could really shine is the third one, which is to be the host. And the host job is to ask great questions, to recognize people, to not share so much of their views on things every now and then, but you don't listen to the host that much. It's people who are joining. And it's the host job, as well as the trusted moderators, to always be scanning who's joining. Because I was in those other rooms for 2 minutes. I didn't get invited. I left. So you got to be fast to say, oh my God, we got Grant Cardone here. Let's bring him up on stage. Grant, how you doing? And being able to quickly recognize the person, bring them up, and have a conversation with no prep, because you never know who's going to show up. Right? And that you could crush at. I mean, it'd be nerve-wracking. Like, oh my God, now I have Grant Cardone on, and I don't know what to ask him. But
I know what I would ask Grant. Hey, Grant, we have a mutual friend, Evan Carmichael. You think he's a beast on YouTube. What do you really think of the guy?
There's still a theme, right? There's a theme of what, like, they joined for a reason, but you might get Grant or Jim Quick or Gary Vee decide to show up or whatever, right? Where otherwise it'd be impossible to book them for a regular episode, but now they're here because there's a room. So you got to be fast to pull them up. And that may not be you. Like, you might need to have somebody help you in the room of who's watching, and like click on all their bios and see what they're good at. And like maybe even a co-host or co-moderator.
But right now everyone goes, I mean, I know that you said that there's a group of people who are passive and listening, but for the most part, this is what I don't like. I don't like rooms where everyone talks and no one listens. This is what I used to struggle with.
Most people listen. No. Most people listen.
Most people listen.
Yeah. There's way more.
They're not bouncing from room to room to room to room, just waiting for someone to hope to invite them in.
No. Most people listen. Most people like me don't listen.
Right. You bounce from room to room to room.
Yeah. The celebrity. I mean, it's weird calling myself a celebrity, but the celebrity strategy,
persona, the personality.
Whatever. Sure. The thought leader expert strategy. But it's really hoping that people recognize my face, because it just says Evan. I mean, I guess that's a unique enough name, but it's only
Evan. Evan is a unique name
compared to Mark. Are you kidding me? Mark, Jesus Christ.
Listen, Mark was really popular in the 80s and before.
So
Not such a popular name now, but
most of the people on Clubhouse are going to be
my
your
age
age
and called
and
Mark, you think?
like it's not just a teenager thing.
Right.
So yeah, your face has to do a lot of the speaking. Now, thankfully, my face is on the same picture on every platform, and Evan is unique enough. So if they see Mark, they have to instantly know that's Mark Drager, and not is that? I don't know. It's hard to tell, and they have to then click on your bio, because you have to click on the face to see the bio, and then they only have 3 lines, and you click again to see the full bio. So it's got to be fast. Right? Yeah, and then the person bounces. So if I was your guiding your strategy for Clubhouse, you have somebody help you, somebody who's a super fanboy help you, and as soon as somebody comes in, check their profile and see what they're about, and find interesting people from Mark, and then invite them on, and then even queue you up to say, hey Mark, we've got Lisa here in the chat, and Lisa has sold over $100 million of products through Facebook advertising. That's crazy, because you may not know who the heck Lisa is and what she's doing, right? So he tees it up for you, and then you take over with your great questions and your banter and a lot of all that stuff. But it's being the host. It's being a great host. And I think you could really crush that. So you got the 3. You should make a video. I guess we just did make a video on this.
We did, because I'm going to listen to this back. That's why I'm not taking notes right now. And I'm like, perfect.
Yeah, we are recording this. So those are your 3. If you fit one of those 3
did you
styles.
Hit record?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
Now, that's not being a consumer. That's for someone like you or me, or you're trying to get the promotion. You're a marketer.
Yeah.
You're trying to create an audience. Most people who watch will just be consumers. They love listening, and they're learning from the conversation.
Right.
It's about creating great conversations. And I think I suck as a host. I don't want to be a host. I don't want to be the host. I want to be the guy. And there's some back and forth, like the one I was just on.
See, it's actually really funny, because I was just on someone else's podcast.
Yeah.
And every time I'm on someone else's podcast, when I get into the rhythm and I'm speaking, I can see their reaction, and I'm pretty sure they're happy with what I'm saying, but I always feel like it's not cohesive enough or coherent enough, or I don't have that through line. Like I don't feel like I do a good job when people are asking me questions, but I much prefer to just ask them questions, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, you could play in the first arena for sure. I think you could. You're just not as known to as many people, but in smaller rooms you could be and be pulled up. And
this is actually a really great setup for the question I was going to ask you.
Okay.
Because for the last week, I haven't been actually struggling with anything. It's been incredibly busy. I have been very, very productive, like more productive than I think I've probably been in years. And so keeping that stuff going. And when I'm not struggling with stuff, it's hard for me to tap into the like, Evan, this week, man, I really need your help with. But there is something that I'm bumping up against, which is because I'm so busy, because I'm trying to really be as productive as possible. It means that now I'm having to make decisions with, I can't do everything. Like I can't, I'm so busy. And hopefully for the next few months, or even for the next few years, I'm going to be this busy that it just forces me to prioritize what I can do and what I can't do. And so the question I was going to ask you was actually about hobbies, and whether when you're in startup mode, which is what even though I'm running a 15, 14-year agency, whatever it is, we're in startup mode right now. What I was going to ask you is whether I should be solely focused on work to the point of even cutting back on some hobbies, cutting back on some extra things, working much more. And so when you mentioned Clubhouse, it sounds like the reason I haven't been on in 2 weeks is because I've been too busy not only to just download the app and figure out how it works. I can't even imagine myself freeing up in my mind the editorial, just like, aligning the person and getting the person on, and then like to help me, or even jumping on and setting up a channel or a show or whatever the heck it is. It's so whether it's a hobby, or whether it's Clubhouse, or whether it's trying to get better at IG, or whatever it is, how do you suggest that I handle extra stuff and hobbies or things like that?
The best answer for you is use a framework of regret. So what are you going to regret more?
Here's an example.
I get it.
But let me talk it out, because I don't know if I'm going to regret this at all.
Oh, okay.
So a year ago at Christmas, I bought myself a Nintendo Switch, and I bought a few games, and they've been sitting on my night table for a year. And then earlier in the week, it was late one evening. It was, I don't know, it was 8:30 or 9 o'clock or something. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to open up a game and I'm going to play some Mario Odyssey. And it reminded me of being in high school. It reminded me of being young. And so I played it for a few hours. And then yesterday, I think I played it for like half an hour, 45 minutes. But today I'm looking at my schedule. I'm getting up. I'm seeing how busy I am. I'm seeing that there's 5 1-hour tasks that have kind of been pushing off, that I've been pushing off each day because I just can't get to. And, you know, so I owe someone something and I'm saying, I'm sorry, I don't have time to do it. Do I not have time to do it? I obviously haven't prioritized it. Do I have time? Should I have spent earlier in the week 2 or 3 hours late one evening playing Mario Odyssey, which I enjoyed and was fun? Like, this is where the, like, looking back and regretting it, it's like, I need, this is where you help me figure out how hardcore I'm supposed to be. And you tell me what to do, because honestly, it's just like, I struggle to separate, like, you know, people say you have to have work-life balance. You have to, you know, you have to take some time off work and you have to clear your head and you have to do these things. But when you're in the thick of it each day, you can over-index one way or the other really easily and not even realize that you are. You know, like, a lot of people will watch 40 or 50 hours of television a week and they think they have no time for anything. I think they do have time for stuff. But you could look at me, who watches, you know, maybe 2 hours an evening, you know, when I'm doing, like, in the background of doing dishes or whatever, I watch 2 hours per evening. You could look at the 14 hours I'm watching a week and think I'm crazy and I should be only watching none, right? Because it's in startup and you're busy and Mark, people are waiting for you, and grow and fast and go. That's like, now that I'm busy, that's actually my struggle.
It's a personal question, right?
But you know me well and you want to help me, right?
It's not, I mean, it's not all in on work, but what's the balance that you need right now? I mean, it's not, yes, the day-to-day thick of things might change, and an emergency pops up and you have to over-index on work to plug the hole or whatever, or you take a day off because it's your daughter's birthday and so you're going to spend the day with her. Great. That those one-offs don't matter. It's the, what are you doing consistently? What is the life that Mark Drager will be proud of living? And that comes down to then a schedule, because the life becomes actions. So
yes.
What do you want?
So for the first time in a very, very long time, it feels the way that it felt maybe back in 2012, 13, 14. You know, there was, back when I was running the company back then, there was excitement about what could be. There was, you know, a lot of momentum. And so I'm perfectly happy right now to start work at 5 a.m. You know, at 4 p.m., I go for a walk with my wife, but between 5 a.m. and 4 p.m., other than the 1 hour workout I do, it's just back-to-back stuff. And then at 4 p.m., I can without guilt, knowing that the day I just put in, that I can go for a walk with my wife. And then I come back and sometimes put some more work in, but I could open up my evenings, you know, like I could throw in a few more hours of work. I've already started Saturday and Sunday mornings because I get up again at 5 a.m. The family doesn't wake up until 8. I have 3 hours of work. I'm just feeling like I feel good when I have days like that. I feel happy that I'm able to progress through things really quickly. Being slightly overwhelmed with just how much there is to do forces me to make decisions quickly and triage things. And so I feel like all of it's good for me, but it's because I haven't figured out from you yet. You haven't told me yet.
Great.
No, when you say things like, hey, Mark, you know, like, you renovating your bathroom is the old Mark and not the new Mark, or, you know, you doing this is like, this, you know, what you used to do and you're not going to do in the future. I just don't know where some of these things fit in. Like, if I should just be working even harder right now.
Wow. Okay.
And so, Clubhouse is a perfect example, right? Like, should I be freeing up an hour or two every 2 or 3 days to think about Clubhouse? And I could do it in the evenings because I can't do it during the days. And is it another thing I should be taking on?
So step above the day and look at a week. What do you want to get done in a week? Like, you need to, there are some daily tasks. You want to go to I know you're not going to the gym, but you're working out. Mm-hmm. You got to do workout every day. And there's some daily tasks, but step above in a week, because a Saturday is not going to look the same as a Thursday. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So take the work aside for now. How much time do you want to spend with your wife, with your kids? and on Mark. And Mark could be video games because you need leisure. It could be podcasting or clubhousing because you love learning something new. And there's obviously Bleed, but it's not just hardcore work assignments. So if you take the work out of it, how much time does Mark need for himself and then for his kids and his family?
I don't know. I've never prioritized it that way. That's interesting. You know,
work is easy to fill in the work is always going to be easy to fill in the gaps.
Well, like here's a great example. Like Bo, our mutual friend Bo, who works with Evan, he suggested to me a week or two ago, you know, Mark, you're the host of this podcast called We Do Hard Things. It's a great podcast. You should check it out. But, you know, you need to be seen doing more hard things. And so he forced me, you know, he wanted me to come up with a challenge. On Sunday night, I decided that I decided what my challenge was. I haven't made it public yet, but I can make it here first. That I've decided that I'm going to get 6-pack abs in X number of days. So I've been getting healthy for 3 years, but I've never really gotten as lean or as cut as I want to be. And I've struggled to think that it was possible. So I decided that this is going to be the challenge. I reached out to a friend who's going to help me put together the plan for how to make it work. And so I kind of see this as a hobby exercise more than anything else, because it's going to require a lot of focus, a lot of time. You know, I got to track stuff. I got to record stuff. I got to share stuff. Like it's a big, scary challenge for me. And so, so I'm comfortable going like, okay, you know, when you talk about Bleed, it helps with my health. It helps with me storytelling and even getting better at podcasting. And it helps me with all kinds of things, but I'm kind of giving it to the hobby category. And so evenings and mornings and weekends and other things is when I'll kind of fill that in. But then I thought of you saying, Mark, no, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that, man? You need a sales guy. You need a sales guy. Bring in a sales guy. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I do need a sales guy. And we are bringing in a sales guy, but it's not only that. We need it. Like, you know, I'm never quite sure which thing you're going to throw at me as like a major distraction.
You need to make a weekly calendar. Start with sleep. How much sleep do you need?
How much sleep do I need? I get more sleep now. What do I get? 5, 6, 7. I get 7 to 8 hours a night.
You need 8 hours sleep a night?
No, I think I need 7, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't done a sleep study like you.
I need 8.5 to 9.
Like if I sleep 7 hours every night, a bunch of nights in a row, I don't get to the point where I have to sleep in or I have to take a nap or anything like that.
Okay. So what time are you going to go to bed every day?
I try to be asleep at 10 p.m. and I get up at 5. Well, I get out of bed at 5. I get up at 4:50.
Okay.
And I do that on Saturdays and Sundays even, which is amazing.
Makes it
I love
even
it
easier.
so much.
Perfect.
I love it. Every day I go to bed same time.
Perfect. Even easier. Okay. How much time do you want to spend with your wife?
4 o'clock every day, even Saturdays and Sundays, we go for a walk together. So we go together for a walk for about an hour. That's our debrief for the day. What happened to you? What happened to me? What's going on? What's the plan for the evening? We catch up, all that stuff.
Okay.
I love it.
Is that enough? Are you happy with that?
And then typically
not kid time. Like this is just solo time.
Me and her. Yeah. And then typically between 8 and 10 PM, we have time where we watch a TV show together or something like that. If I'm not working, I have noticed that some nights when I work really late, that she doesn't like it.
But you said you were using that time to wash the dishes and stuff.
No, I was just saying about like if there's 2 hours per TV per, you know, that I'm usually doing other things. So like we'll watch a show together, but I'll be on my phone or, when I said that I was playing video games for 2 hours, I was watching a show with her while playing video games on a Switch for 2 hours. So I really struggle to just sit down and watch TV. I find it too slow and boring.
Okay. I mean, that's an area to potentially, because it's not intentional time. You're doing like 3 things all at once.
Listen, man, yesterday I took the day off for my daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
And I was taking the day off. So I got up at 5 and I worked until the moment she woke up. As soon as she woke up, I closed my laptop. I finished I wasn't even done something. I just closed it. And then I was like, no, we're taking the day off for you today. And I made sure not to check my emails too often or do things like that. But honestly, by like mid middle of afternoon, like I felt completely useless. I felt like we were making no progress. Even though it's supposed to be intentional time, it's just,
Yeah, great.
yeah.
Listen, so you know that you don't want to spend all day long with your kids. Great. Doesn't make you a bad father. You don't want to spend all day long with your wife either, right? You don't want to spend all day long with Louis either, right? I mean, like it's fine. This is what we're trying to figure out is what the balance, because that 8 to 10 o'clock spot is what time?
Yeah. So by then I'm usually much more tired. So on Saturdays, or if my wife's watching a movie, so typically on Saturdays or whatnot, I'll catch up on my reading. So highlighting books, reading books, catch up on my reading. Or yeah, I'm watching TV with my wife, and usually I'm getting pretty, like sometimes I fall asleep at like 9:15 or 9:30, but I'm usually just getting pretty sleepy. So I don't want to go and attack a brand new project.
Awesome. I think people can even spend less time with their spouses, but make it more intentional and meaningful. Like the walk you do at 4 is great.
Yeah, I took that from your playbook, right? You and Nina used to go out. I mean, I don't know if you still do, but you used to go out for a walk together every day, and it's good. It's really good.
You get the chat, you get the talk, you get the, you're not. But the thing is, if you're doing that while you're both listening to a podcast or something else, and you're not actually spending time together. Not really. You're in the same room, but you're not really spending time together.
Right. There's a term for that. It's shoulder to shoulder versus like face to face, right? So there's certain activities that you do with people where you're kind of shoulder to shoulder and you're both doing something different, but happen to be sitting beside each other. And
it's funny because your walk, you're actually shoulder to shoulder.
No, I walk sideways so I can look at her the entire time. I do a step over step.
So shoulder to face? Is it the hybrid?
No, I walk backwards. So that way.
There you go. Yeah. No, but that's a good point, because that's now garbage time. That 8 to 10 o'clock is garbage time. And that's 2 hours every day that nothing is happening with intentionality. And you're not, just because you create a schedule doesn't mean you're going to hit it 100% of the time. But at least having a plan to try to hit is better than just having a plan to have garbage time in.
That's interesting. I've never asked Jack what, I mean, so her love language is quality time, and that's not my love language. So whenever we're trying to spend time together, actually quality time is probably like the lowest thing on my category. So when we're trying to spend time together, I'm usually trying to ask her what she wants out of the time, so that way I can try and give it to her, because acts of service is my love language. And so if I can understand what she wants, I will just do that for her if I know, which of course for her kind of removes some of the majesty and the mystery of spending time together, when I'm like, what do you want this to be about? And I'll do that for you. So that could be something that I could probably try to figure out a better way of doing.
I mean, and maybe it's just watching a show together, and you like to cuddle with your daughter on the couch watching TV. Maybe you cuddle with your wife on the couch watching TV. I don't know. I mean, you pick a show that you both like so that you're not watching TV and trying to be with her and playing a video game and have Clubhouse on in the background. It's just like nothing gets the attention. And especially if you're tired on top of all of that stuff. So nothing happens. But listen, she said if you're spending that time working instead of being on the couch with her, then she gets upset. So there is some value to it. It's not like I don't even notice if you're here or not.
No. There definitely, because there's been a few nights where I've said like on Tuesday night, because I took Wednesday off. On Tuesday night, I needed to meet with Alex. So I said, Alex, can we meet at 7 p.m.? And he's like, sure, I guess so. And so I met like 7 to 8:30 with him. And yeah, so, but that's a perfect example. Like if I knew that me working 2 evenings a week and really putting in a big push would see this exponential growth much, much quicker, then I could go to her and say, very easily, I can say, listen, for the next few weeks, or the next few months or whatever it is, I just really need to put this.
No, you can't do that. That's like you moving to your 7-day week.
I've done that before. When things get really crazy busy, I have to say, listen, I'm sorry, but for the next 3 weeks, things are going to be so busy.
Yeah. We're not planning for the emergencies. We're planning for the everyday.
Yeah.
So maybe it's only doing 8 to 9 and you watch a show together, and then Mark goes and does the dishes while watching Clubhouse or something. Like maybe you don't need 2 hours, but 1 hour with more intention to it. You watch her favorite show or a show you both pick, and you're not on your phone and you're not playing a video game at the same time, or you're just watching it with her.
Yeah. I could do that.
Well, but like, or something else. Like she needs something. She needs more than the 1 hour walk. The 1 hour walk is not it's enough for you, maybe, but it's not enough for her. So she needs more than the 1 hour walk. So what can actually give her the connection that she needs, that makes her happy in the relationship, and you're happy for giving it to her, where you don't hate your life for doing it. Like, oh my God, it's the most boring thing. It's the most boring. Okay, I'm here for her. 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 Yeah, it's like, it's actually.
It's like, I love her. I love her. I can watch The Walking Dead. Right? I can love her. I can watch The Walking Dead.
So it's not a death trap, that you actually enjoy the thing somehow, right? I mean, it may not be your favorite thing, but it's something you've come to, and maybe less time, but more intentional, so that it fills her battery up a little bit more. And then you don't have to do 2 hours of it, because that 2 hours is pretty wasted. Now we have an hour every day to be on Clubhouse, right? Or play your games or whatever. But it's not trying to do 3 things at once and then nothing gets happy. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to make those 2 hours more intentional.
Yeah, but
I can't. I mean, I could talk to her about seeing whether it's worth, whether it would bother. I don't know if it would bother her if I worked from 7 to 9 and then.
No, not 9.
9 to 10.
No. 9 is too late, because that's your garbage. Like if you're going to pass
out
at 9:15, then you're taking away their quality time. It's got to be the 8 o'clock spot. You need 8 to 9 to be with her doing something. And then 9 to 10 is Mark's extra bonus time. Or maybe she needs 2 full hours to be happy. Like,
she would keep going. It's just usually I'm like by 10 to 9, like the show is running and I'm just like kind of like opening my eyes every few minutes. So.
Yeah, but like that's like she's just settling for the crumbs of connection. Like
the crumbs of connection.
That's what you're giving her. It's
alliteration.
Like, okay, I'm here, but it's half comatose Mark, just about to pass out and drool on you instead of actually be here with you, right? I mean, that's not what she wants, but at least you're in the room. Like,
right.
Talk about settling and not extraordinary. That's what that is. So
yeah, I can definitely make that more intentional. I know that I can.
Great. And it doesn't have to be as long. Like if you know that 9 to 10 o'clock spot is going to be the winding down for you.
Wind down side. Yeah.
And you're going to start to pass out. Like, don't make that her time. Don't work until 9. And then you get the worst of me. I'm going to be even more tired. I'll just sleep on your lap. Right. I mean, so, but is 1 hour enough? I mean, obviously she might say, I want 8 hours or something, but what's the happy balance that makes sense? If you got the 4 to 5 walk and then 8 to 9.
Well, it's a 4 or 5 walk. And then usually between 5 and 6, we'll cook dinner together. If we are, sometimes I'll duck out and catch up on stuff. And then 6 to 6:30, the kids eat. I don't eat, but I sit with them. We connect, we talk. And then now that I don't really eat and stuff, at 6:30, it's like, I still have energy. I still have like, if I could jump back on some things that aren't client work related, that aren't Fanta work related, but are these things that I'm talking about, the trying to get 6-pack abs challenge,
okay, what happens between 6:30 and 8?
So what happens between 6:30 and 8? So it's typically a mix between, if one of the kids really wants to spend time with me, then, last night Silas came up to me and said, hey, can we play Fortnite together? I said, sure, let's play Fortnite right now. So we jumped and played Fortnite for whatever it was, half an hour. And then Jonah wanted to come into the mix. And then I went and took the dog out, and then I showered. And then I think I worked on something for about 45 minutes and then came upstairs and spent some time with my wife. So that 6:30 to 8 is kind of a sweet spot that I might be able to figure out how to make more time of.
So, basically in your current schedule, you're done by 4.
Yeah, because I start at 5:15. I have no guilt. I'm up at 5. I start at 5:15. I have no guilt about walking away from my computer at 4 o'clock.
Right. So when is your workout?
Typically between 9 and 10.
9 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is there anything else? Like you take a lunch break or any other breaks, or you just working?
So 5:15 to 7 is beautiful quiet time because no one's up. 7, I take the dog out real quick, and then I'll say good morning to the kids a bit, but typically that's about 15 minutes. And then I work until till 4, and I might come upstairs once or twice. I might like today, like I haven't even had any water to drink at all today.
Stay hydrated.
I know I have like all of these empty glasses with me because I was planning to go grab a drink, but I know that if I'm a minute late with Mr. Carmichael, he'll be upset. So I'm really pleased with the productivity.
15 minutes to walk the dog and say hi to the kids.
Yeah, usually between 7 and like 7:10 to 7:25. Yeah, it's usually about a 15-minute window.
Let's put 7:30, 7 to 7:30. So you're waking up at 5:15 and working until 7.
Yeah, but I have some days where I start calls. Like on Tuesday mornings, I have 7 a.m. calls, and so like I will be on a call while I take the dog out with me, and I'll be on a call and I'll say like I'll wave at my kids and say good morning to them as I go downstairs. So which I know is not intentional or ideal as well. But like it could be. Mm-hmm. Being on a call and saying hi to the kids is not intentional for sure. And let's not judge. It's like, hey, I'm going to see them later on and we're going to play Fortnite together tonight. So that's our time together, right? So it's not judging. Walking the dog could be, I mean, you hate dogs. Who cares? You're not trying to connect with the stupid dog. No, it's not that. It's my job to take him out in the morning. So
I get it.
But take him out in the morning.
But that's where you could multitask it. That's where you can either plan for the day, or you can make a call, or you can go for a run or whatever. Like you can multitask. Like you don't multitask the kids. You multitask the dog because you don't care about the dog. It's just your job to do it, and it just happens to live in your home, right?
I kind of like this guy. I will admit.
You like this guy, but you don't care. You don't care about when you're walking a dog. It's like your special time together, and you're so grateful for this dog, and you don't care. You can be on a call.
No, I can be on a call for sure.
Yeah, I mean, but that's it. Like you could plan a call every day at 7.
Yeah, I could. It happens 2 or 3 times a week already, but yes, I could.
Like that's intentional. It's like, okay, I'm outside with the dog. This is kind of a waste of time. I don't need the workout. I'm going to work out at 9 when I get back anyway. This is just a menial task that I have to get done. I don't want to be out here with the dog. I'll play with the dog later on tonight with the kids when we're rolling around the house or something. This is just dog has to go to the bathroom. This has to get done.
No, and I think I hear what you're saying. I guess what I'm asking about now is the after hours, the weekends, I'm getting ready. And I talked a bit about this last week when I said that or 2 weeks ago, it's like, I need to get into the CEO mindset. And you're like, no, you don't, Mark. That's a waste of time. I also need to get into the point where I need to go like, okay, I'm spent a bunch of Saturdays and Sundays renovating this bathroom for my family. I need to get to the point in the future where I'm not going to spend my time renovating stuff in my house because I'm more willing to spend the money to do it. Mm-hmm. And so, and then if I'm not spending the time renovating and I'm spending the money to it, it frees up the time. If it frees up the time, I can apply that time to business, to family, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I understand that. It's just a question of when.
That's what we're going through right now.
Okay. Great. Thank you. You understand then, do you?
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
I just wanted to give you extra context to see how to put context.
Very clearly needed. Listen, if I need context, I'll ask a question.
Fine.
Dude, I got the best compliment earlier this week. I was doing Instagram live with people, with somebody in my movie makers. Man, movie makers has just become this thing. Anyway, she said, I was asking her question at the beginning of everything. I'm just trying to understand the person and how I can help. And usually when you say, how can I help? Like they're not fully, you got to dig to find the thing. She said, you asked me questions that open up my heart. Like, yeah, that's what I do. That's great. I love it. What a compliment.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I was on a podcast interview with an amazing interview. I had so much fun on Friday. But the fourth time when I asked a question and they said, "That's a really good question." Wow. I said, "Okay, cool. Like, I appreciate that. You don't have to, you don't have to, we're gonna have to cut out all these compliments because it just sounds like you're buttering me up."
Right, keep the compliments in. That's why you'd be a great Clubhouse
compliments
host.
in.
Okay. So on the weekdays, first off, that 5:15 to 7 a.m. time is super important.
That's when I get it. Yeah. It's, I can't believe that I let myself stop doing that, because I remember being in Jamaica talking about how powerful it was to wake up early.
Okay. We know.
I can't
So
believe
it's super important. So you have to schedule like what's going to happen in that time.
Yeah.
Whether that's client projects, creative work, like that needs to be consistent so that 5:15 or 5, I'm up, 5:15, I brush my teeth and whatever. And then like, boom, in this hour and 45-minute window, I'm going to do this kind of work. Like, is it better for client projects? Is it creative work? Is it making videos? Like Mark's the best at this in the morning? What kind of work?
It's all the strategic planning. So it's, because you can have a few hours of uninterrupted time. On weekends, it's even more. On weekends, sometimes it's 4 or 5 hours, because if people sleep until 9, it's great.
Strategic planning, that's what you do. So every morning, it's like strategic planning. And what that does is, if you've got the time tomorrow morning to do strategic planning, then if you get an idea today,
I just send myself an email and tomorrow morning I can work on it.
Yeah, you have your strategic planning folder, and that's what you're going to go over tomorrow morning. So you have the relieves the anxiety of having to, gives you the certainty to know I have time to this. It's planned out. There's a space in my calendar to make this, and it will happen tomorrow during my strategic planning time. Great. So after strategic planning, you take the dog out and you say hi to the kids. Do we do something while we take the dogs out? Do we plan a call?
If it's a Tuesday or Thursday, I'm already on a call with some team members. If it's some of the other days, then no. Usually it just becomes kind of an empty 15 or 20-minute period.
Are you better on calls when you're outside?
I don't know if it makes a difference. Am I friendlier?
I don't know.
You think I'd come across as friendlier if I'm on a call?
Well, listen, you just came out of a mega strategic planning session.
Yeah.
You just came out of it. You're feeling like a god.
Yeah, no. Typically, actually, I'm upset that I have to stop doing this thing that's really amazing and important to jump on a call. So I got to be like, oh man, okay, right, I got 2 minutes left. How much can I get done? Because I'd rather just keep working on it. But
well, is that enough time? An hour and 45 minutes?
Sometimes not. So tomorrow morning, for example, I'm fortunate enough to have nothing on my books until 2:30. I mean, other than my workout at 9. I don't have any calls. I don't have any meetings. I have so much to do. So like, I'm really excited tomorrow to be able to like chunk into some things. I try to keep my Fridays clear for catch up and sweep and things like that as well. I don't know. I enjoy working when the world is asleep.
Great.
Because then I don't feel like I have the pressure. Like, I enjoy working in the evenings and the morning, because then that frees up the regular work day for all the other stuff, the other people, the clients and the staff and everybody else's problems. But in the morning, in the evening, on the weekend, I don't have the duty or responsibility to respond or to be there or anything. And so I really love that time, because it's the only time that feels like my time.
Okay. But so is an hour and 45 minutes enough?
Maybe not.
Do we need to, you either put it later on in the day as well, but that might be hard to be interrupted and now the world's awake, or you put it later on in the evening, but you might not be doing your best thinking and you're down on life at 10 o'clock at night. So it may not be the best strategic thinking. Like, well, you wake up and you're like, I can do anything. And then you go to bed saying, I can't do anything. So when's the best time?
There is this weird tipping point somewhere around 1, 2, 3 p.m.
So when's the best time to do strategic thinking, right? But like, do you then wake up at 4 and go to bed at 9? So you have an extra hour to do your thing.
So maybe, and I'm going to be honest with you, I've started waking up at 4 a.m. on my own, and then kind of going back to sleep and sleeping in until 5. Like last night, I woke up at 2. I woke up at 4, and each time I got up, and I was pretty wide awake. But
but what time did you go to bed?
Last night, I think I fell asleep around 10:15. Maybe it was 20 after 10.
That's the problem. If you're going to bed at 10:15 and you wake up at 4, it's not enough sleep.
Right.
To go to bed at 9.
Right. If I propose another hour shift even earlier, I don't know how that'll go over on my family.
Well, you're going to spend from basically 4 o'clock until
7 is a
9
good 3 hours. Yeah.
No, until 9.
Oh.
With them.
Oh, you mean in the evening? In the evening. So actually not even contemplate making the most of the 6:30 to 8 p.m. window and going back to work. It's just at 4 o'clock I'm done, because I know at 4 a.m. I can jump back into it. And that might be interesting, because I do get worried in evenings if there's like emails hanging or if there's other things, because I want to respond. But if I'm up at 4 a.m., I'm certainly responding before anyone else is in the office anyway. So that could be really interesting.
I mean, you have 2 hours of garbage time anyway. That could be more intentional to say, hey, we're taking an hour away, but I want to do what you want to do. Like, let's watch a show and be present together and watch whatever you want. And 6:30 to 8 is now, or even like 6:30 to 8 is when you're actually playing with the kids and you have time. Like, those could all adjust.
Yeah.
How much time do you want to spend with your kids? How much time do you want to spend on your hobbies? How much time do you want to spend with Jacqueline? But
do you think, just the original question I had was, do you think that when people are in hustle mode or startup mode, or when there starts to get some momentum, like, do you think that people should even have those things?
It's not a sprint though. Like, this is the problem. It's not a sprint. There's no short. If you said, Mark, or Bo says, hey, Mark, we got Oprah for you for next week.
That's my dream. That's my dream, right, man?
Yeah, we got Oprah. But to do this, you got to jump through these 18 hoops. You jump through the hoops, and you tell Jacqueline and the kids, like, I have to go to quarantine myself in Miami for 2 weeks before I can talk to Oprah.
Right.
You do it, right? I mean, probably. I mean, you still talk and have the conversation, but it's worth it. The things you're talking about, you don't know that they're worth it. They're not that big an opportunity. So you have to plan for the everyday, and then emergencies will pop up and you might have to take a call on the wrong time. But like, again, those things don't matter. The chocolate bar doesn't matter when you're eating healthy all the time. One skipped workout doesn't matter.
It's actually true. On Saturday, I pulled something in my back and I didn't do the workout, and I didn't even feel guilty about it, because I was like, I work out so much. What's the problem?
I mean, it matters for the mindset, but it won't matter for the actual results. But if you're skipping every second workout, now you got a problem.
Yeah.
The chocolate bars every morning instead of your toothbrush, that's a problem. I like that.
You see, you're a fan of the alliteration, man, too.
Because it works for you. It brings out a different side. I don't usually say that.
It works. It works for me.
Yeah. You bring out the side that works for you. So forces Evan to stretch.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If I shift the hours to 4 a.m., that's pretty exciting. I mean, that gives me 4 a.m. to 4 p.m., 12 hours of work. You could do a lot of damage in 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. Plus,
okay, but you're taking an hour out for the workout. You're taking half an hour.
Oh, that's true. 11
for the dog and saying hi to the kids, but the dog could be a call.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're not taking it out, or the dog could be.
Yeah. Again, the dog in the morning is really just like a 4-minute thing. I'm not taking him for a walk. So I just we live in a house, so we literally just have to open the door and he goes to the bathroom and then he walks back in. So,
but 4 minutes is 40 minutes. Like a 4-minute break from what you were doing.
Right.
Might as well be 45 minutes.
Because it's a full break.
Yeah. And then you got to come back. What was I doing? What was I working on?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Like had the kids.
Oh, shoot. I was working on I was working on a statement of work. So I was working through a legal document for a client to sign a new project. And at
So we already know. Yes, you got distracted and it fell off. I mean,
No, not that. At 7:30, I had to jump into something. So it's still sitting here open because from 7:30 to now, I haven't had a chance to get back to it.
And it's going to take you 20 minutes to just get back into what you were thinking before. that 15 minutes is almost an hour.
Right. No, it is actually a significant shift. It's like a milestone. It's a feeling shift. It's like everything before that is hustle, productive time. Everything after that's like, it's changing chapters almost.
So why can't you work out at 7:30?
I can. We worked out at 7:30 this morning.
Honestly, that's what I would do. I would have your morning, your 4 a.m. or 4:15.
And then that way, so you do the 7 to 7:30 is like talk and connection or whatever. 7:30 to 8:30 workout, and then get back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better.
We did that today. It was good.
Yeah. And then, so you have your one chunk of 4:15 to 7 strategic planning. Mm-hmm. And then your second chunk is 8:30 to 4 o'clock where you're going to ram all your everything else into. So you're not getting this, and you don't have to show up. You don't have to, you wear a diaper, so you don't have to go to the bathroom. Like, you just work. You just get it done. You're not saying hi to people. So the distractions are together. You're not getting now distracted again, because your 15 minutes before workout is junk time anyway.
So sometimes I'm on a conference call and the workout's starting and I'm just like, guys, I got to go.
But either way, you're not intentionally getting distracted by what's next.
Yeah. So let me talk to Jack about that.
You could even actually say hi to the kids every morning. You can make that.
I know our kids are going back to school on Monday.
You can make that way more intentional. Like, that time together could actually mean something. Maybe you take the dogs out together and run with your chickens outside, and
well, we do work out together every day, which is why we do 9 a.m.s now, because Jack prefers 9s, and it's really it's better for us. It's something we enjoy doing together. I'll see if we can move to 7:30. The kids have got to go to school, so they have to be dropped off at 10 to 8, which means Jack won't be able to work out at that time.
So you work out with Jacqueline too?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So that's more connection for her.
Oh yeah, it's good. We push each other. She pushes me. I push her. It's we figured out that when we went into this new type of training, which is all virtual, and and the coaches are coaching you like on these Zoom calls and all this stuff, that if we work out side by side, so we do that each day.
Cool. And then you can still audit I know we gotta go, but the ending of the day, how you want to split the time between the walk with your wife, the cooking dinner, the picking up the kids, the playing with the kids, the watching shows with Jacqueline, whatever. Still got 5 hours every day to do your thing. And if you're still waking up in the morning on weekends, then how do you want to spend that time?
It opens up even more.
Strategic planning, or do you want to work on your hobby or whatever? But putting those distractions together for sure will help. And just more intentional time on the other stuff, then it frees up your thinking to do your work.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Progress.
Thank you.
Mark says I yelled at him in the last episode. I don't remember it, but if you want to watch it, it's right there next to us. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe. We'll see you there. This is the Something to Prove podcast.
On this week's episode, Evan and I start off by getting a little bit frustrated and angry with each other, but then it leads to him dropping some truth bombs on me.